Hello you guys and welcome to another video. So today I wanted to finish up the toy merchant guide I made a few weeks ago. I will probably find a way to input it somewhere if you haven't watched it yet. You should see something pop up either in the top right corner of the screen or just like a video link in the description below. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but we'll see. So let's get into it. Okay, so on Leo's memory, you guys, there's like only, I would say, one that you should remember with Toy Merchant, and that's this one. It's how to get onto second story from this side. The placement is right here. Let me pick it up so you guys see what I'm gonna do. And then you have to make sure that the bow goes over the railing. You see like the arch, it has to go over the railing so you can be able to land on top of the staircase. You can do this from different angles. Let me show you real quick. There's a lot of different angles you can do this from. You could also do it from this angle, I think. Yes. It's a fairly easy one to do, in a sense. Like, it's not that hard. It's fairly easy to do. I would recommend learning this one immediately when you start playing Toy Merchant, because it's a really viable catapult that can be used a lot. As you can see, I placed 3 catapults in the vicinity and they all worked. So you just have to kind of play around with it, but you guys saw how I placed it and all. So yeah, on to the next one. Another one I wanted to show you guys is up on the second floor of factory, and I think it's supposed to be like around here. You have to stand like really close to the wall. As you can see, you can literally see a close-up of my face, and you have to place it like this, and that way you can fall over this. And I think you can also do it in the other way. And what it is mostly intended for is for Toy Merchant, I would say, in this direction. Let me show you something you could do if you do this, is do this and fly, and that way you can just fly all the way down the stairs. And if you angle it right, you should be able to fly a lot longer. So let me see if I can angle it sideways a bit. Let me see. I can. So let's angle this. And now that way you can, and you can even go off onto this side, as you can see. And then you can do this, for example, and vault this. There's a lot that you can do over here. So yeah, you saw those two. On to the next one. The next one I wanted to show y'all is one that is not often used, but I think is still viable. I don't remember if it works, so bear with me. I think it does. As you can see, I am placing it a bit in front of this little box here, and I'm aiming right into the middle. As you can see, the circle is visible here, so that means it's not good. Here it's not visible anymore, and here it is again. So you have to try to fix it into the position where the circle is not visible. As you can, for example, like this one. And if you can see, like the trajectory always goes inside the shack. But be careful, if dungeon is here, I mean basement, I apologize. I would not recommend placing this one, but you could always place it. Like, for example, if you spawn in the middle and there's a cipher in the middle, you could always place it as your own escape, because I know sometimes there spawns a cipher right over here. For example, you're decoding and you say like, oh no, the hunter is coming. That way you can just go here and you have shack to your full disposal, as you can see. I think that's every like good catapult I know on this map. For the rest, you can just play around with your catapult, see what you can find, but I don't think there's really any more like viable catapult for this map. So yeah, for the rest, just use your catapults like you would yourself and just try to get away from the hunter. Okay, on to the next map. Okay, the next map is Eversleep Town, and just for reference, you guys, there are a lot of catapult placements on this map, so bear with me if I forget one. So let me show you another one that I know works. Let me see, I have to position it well because it's a really hard one to position. I think this should work. Let me see. It does. It does. So yeah, the one I want to show you is this one. You have to kind of position it next to this little barrel over here. Stand right here and try to fix it into a position where you can catapult on top of the second story right here. It's fairly hard to do because of the big arch in the way right over here, as you can see. That's why it's really hard. So yeah, I think you can also place one here. Let me see if I can figure it out. Okay, I found a position where it actually works. So if you want to try to fix it, you have to put it a bit in front of these little stones where I'm standing on right now. And you have to make sure you're like right in front of the window. Let me replace it so you see what you should be seeing. Like you see, you just see the edge of the circle coming out of the bottom like brown wooden wall, as you can see. And if you place it, this is the result you get. Perfect, in my opinion. So let me go to the next position. Okay, for the next one, I want to show you two, and these have severe differences. So the first one I want to show you is this one. It's around at this corner, right, the little kitty. Around this corner that you have to go like this, and then you have to, let me show you what I did. You have to grab the box and make sure the circle is on the top side over there. And this is the result you get. You land all the way on top of here, which is really, 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 really great. So the difference with this one is on the railway, and what a lot of people might know about this map is a train passes by. So this is a very viable one if you know that the tram is right around the corner. Because if the tram goes over this little catapult, the hunter cannot break it. So you can use it again. It's fairly tricky to do and fairly risky as well, but if it works out, you have a very big advantage against the hunter, and this is what happens when you do it. You land all the way on top of here. You could do something like this, go all the way over here. I have this pallet to work with, for example. So yeah, I think those are all the ones I know of. Oh, there's one more I wanted to show you. Give me a moment. The one I wanted to show you, the next one I did was right here. And this is one that lets you go into graveyard, as you see. I'm going to wait for the tram to pass so I can show it properly. Because I don't think if you jump while the tram is here, it works. But let's see if it does. It does actually work if the tram is there. So good to know. Good to know. So the positioning is around... looking at the window over there and just right in front of this little marble / stone gutter that you can use, and you can jump and you make all the way to graveyard, which is really, 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 really viable. I also think you can do it in the other way. Yeah, you can also do it in the other direction. This is a really strong one for Toy Merchant herself, as you can see, because I am able to go all the way to here. And if you, by example, have knee-jerk reflex, yes, you will get a lot of distance because you would have already been here when the hunter has like just passed under this middle part. So if it's not a distance hunter like Galatea, you will get a lot of distance. Another one that I think is fairly viable is this one. But this is mostly one that's good for Toy Merchant. You could use it for other characters, but it's just based on because of the height that you go at. You go so high that you can get so much distance. This also works with the other second story, the corner house over here. Oh, never mind. It does not work here, sadly. Oh, wait, never mind. It does. Ooh, wait, what is this one? Ooh. Okay, I did not know about that one. Good to know. This is also one that you can use. It's fairly hard to place, it seems. And you have to place it like right in front of this little doorway thingy. Because I don't think you can place it onto here like on the other one. So yeah, I think that's every catapult spot I know myself on this map. So on to the next map. The next map is Chinatown, and I'm right already in a position where I can show you a really, really strong catapult. It's fairly easy to place. You have to kind of like place it like adjacent or like in a diagonal angle from the box, like you can see here. And what happens is you land all the way on top of here, which is a lot of distance. You could also place one right over here. This is good for a lot of people to grab distance if the area that they're in right there is kind of dead and can't be used anymore, as you can see. You also have a lot of second story areas in this map. Also, a quick little tip I could give you is if you see a second story area which is open and you can place a catapult on top of it, do so, because the distance you get based on the height is really crazy. So let me show you some more crazy catapult locations on this map. Okay, this one is a quick note. This is only possible with Toy Merchant. You cannot do this with anyone else. And what I wanted to show you is the fact that you can get up to the second story if you pull out your glider just at the end. Oh, it didn't work this time, but it worked last time. So let me try to find a clip of me doing it without failing. Okay, let me show you real quick what I meant. Like so, you saw what I did there? I pulled out a catapult and kind of just landed on this little rail thing over here I'm standing on right now, and you get all the way up to second story. And not a lot of hunters have height. Like for example, only Evil Reptilian would be able to catch up with you fast enough, or Breaking Wheel for example, but then you have to have crazy control with Breaking Wheel. So yeah, you could also, I don't know if you can do it on the other 2-story area, but I don't think it's really possible. So yeah, I think those are like the most vital spots on this map. So yeah, on to the next map. Okay, so next map I want to show you all is Kreeberg Racecourse, and the first spot I want to show you is right up on top of this little tower, as you can see, and I've placed 2 catapults, one here and one right over there. This one brings you all the way over to this kiting area, which I am not going to use right now because I have to show you the other one as well. I guess I didn't make that landing, but let me show it to you real quick. So that one is really viable, really easy to place. This one is a bit harder, so let me show you real quick how to do it. I stood here, and then you can see the little circle landing on the bottom floor. So as you can see, it lands all the way over here, which brings you with a lot of distance that the hunter has to make up. So it's really strong to use in my opinion. So on to the next locations. Okay, so the next one I want to show you guys is only viable for Toy Merchant, and the placement is almost literally aligning with this little bar over here. Just go in a straight line and you can align it here, or you can use these little this metal V to make a little side note for yourself. And the only way you can use it is by correctly pulling out your catapult right at the edge, and you're able to fly all the way around. So yeah, I think you can also place one right here if I'm correct. Let me see. No, it's not that good of a catapult, sadly. It's not. What you could do, this is a fairly more resourceful catapult, I think, is just use it to jump over here, because this wall really helps by hiding from the hunter. The hunter does not know in which direction you're gonna go because that big wall is in the way. So that is also a very strong catapult. For the rest, I don't really think there's strong catapults on this map because there's a lot of, you would think this would probably work, but as you can see, the circle is on the bottom and not on the top. There's a lot of invisible walls on this map which prohibit you from placing your catapults. That's why I think you have to really prioritize the ones that you can use to your advantage, and not try to get some crazy catapult like over here, because you see it doesn't work. So yeah, I think that's all the maps. I'm gonna check real quick, and I'll be in my lobby. That means the video is over. Okay, y'all. So I kind of forgot this map existed, but it has recently been added to rank. So I think it is very handy that I show you some good catapult positions on this map. Okay, so the first one I want to show you is this one over here. It's placed like this, as you can see. Let me show you how to place it real quick. And I recommend placing it letting it land right in front of that pallet. So like, as you can see, you will go all the way to this pallet. You're able to drop this from more distance, or if you have knee-jerk reflex, you drop it from this side and vault. so you get even more distance. So yeah. Another one I want to show you, I'll show it to you real quick. Another one I wanted to show is a lot of people would probably place one here. I think it is viable, but it isn't the best thing to do. What I would recommend is place one here and let it land like over there. That way the hunter has to choose, do I fall down here and lose more distance, or do I let the person catapult and go down from this side? This is where it lands, by the way. All the way over here, and you can use this pallet to your advantage, go to this second story, or some other things. I'll be back to you with the next catapult spot. The next one I wanted to show you is this one over here. This is only viable for Toy Merchant, I think. Yes, it is. So what you have to do is you have to catapult and grab your glider, and you're able to get on top of here. It's really strong, so you can just wait then for the hunter to go up the stairs, and if they come right here, you can drop down, and if you still have you probably won't have parachute, but you can drop down here and drop this pallet. Or you could loop it again and come back to this jump pad and jump right back up there. That's also something you could do with your glider, by the way, because without it, it doesn't work. Like this. Okay, on to the next one. The next one I wanted to show you is this one over here. As you can see, you have to place it towards the other area. As you can see, it's fairly hard. You have to watch out that the dot actually lands on the bottom, like you can see here. Then you can do something like this, and what I like to do is fly over here and look behind me if the hunter is following me, and try to land on the other side. Let me see if I can do it correctly this time. Let me show you. As you can see, I landed, but you have to make sure that the hunter drops down if you do this, because if they don't drop down, I would just recommend going this way. But if they do drop down, you can loop around the building, like so. Boom, perfect. You can, I think you can also place one right here. Yeah, as I can see, you can place one here as well. And do a high jump. It is viable for hunter and survivors, so it's really strong. Not for survivors and Toy Merchant herself, so it's very useful to use. I think that's every good catapult spot here, and I know this is the last map, so this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching this second part to the Toy Merchant video. As I said before, I will probably put the video that was before this one right up in the top left corner. If not, it will be somewhere on the screen. And thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, do whatever you want. It supports me either way. Love you. Bye bye. Mwah.